you're doing amazing today, because we're going to have a great conversation about how to create a week's worth of social media content in a matter of minutes. How helpful would that be to some of you to not have to think so hard about what to put on social media? I'm going to share with you today 3 things that you can juggle intermittently. It'll make sense in a minute. That'll give you enough ideas to create a week's worth of social media content really, really quickly and easily. So I hope you've got a pen. Have you got a pen? You're going to want a pen and a piece of paper and write down. So firstly, there's 3 core things that I'm going to mention to you today. And when you take each 3 of these elements into consideration, there is no excuses for not coming up with some social media content in a matter of minutes. Would that be helpful for you guys? Let me know. This is exclusive for our crew here, from me to you, to try to help you stop procrastinating about social media content. So I'm going to give you these examples kind of for a personal profile. But really what you need to think about on social media is everything, no matter whether you've got a business page or a group, everything comes back to your personal profile. That little picture of you that what's the word I'm looking for? Message, communicate in groups. It's from your personal profile for the most part, unless you change it to your business page, if you've got a business page. So if it's on a business page, this will be a little bit different. You want your content to be revolved around your branding message. So some of you may be working through that. If you've got a group or a business page, majority of your content needs to be around how you've branded yourself. Totally different conversation to what I'm about branding, about what I'm talking about today. This conversation is not about branding, but I'll tell you where this idea for this live came up. Because I did the personal branding bootcamp last week, I was looking at a lot of your personal profiles and a lot of your business pages. And so many of you are missing the basics of social media content. And I'll look at your personal profile and it's like, I've got no idea they're even in business. I've got no idea they're interested in health and wellness or skincare or jewelry or crypto or finance or weight loss or whatever it is. No idea whatsoever, because you've got no content on your personal profile about what it is that you do. Like, you need to change that. You need to give people clues. If you want to build any kind of brand whatsoever, you need to let people know in an attraction marketing way, not a spammy way, what it is that you do and what it is that you sell and what your passions are. Okay, so I'm hoping this video will help with that. So I'll get onto that in a second. So hello. If anyone's new to our online crew here, we have the most amazing community of home-based business owners, direct sellers, social sellers, all of the above. And if you want to learn to leverage social media and use modern social media strategies to build your business, you're in the right place, because that's what we talk about here. So welcome to our crew. If anyone's new, put the word down new so I can give you a special shout out after the live. But it's great to see you here. Now, I do want to say, we just had the most amazing, interesting, frustrating, creative, very cool training in the coaching community. So for my coaching community, I do an exclusive training every single week on something in depth to help you move your business faster, grow your business. And we just did an amazing training on how to create social media posts and stories in Canva that really, really stand out from the crowd. It was cool. I had my special guest with me. Beth shared her screen. She lost her power. She came back. She lost her power. Laurie jumped in. Those of you that were there, it was pretty funny. But at the end of it all, it was an amazing training. And if you are in my coaching community, go and catch that replay as soon as you can, and go and grab the templates that Beth has come up for you. So we've got amazing drag and drop templates for social media posts and story posts that you can get access to and make your own. Like, it's just such cool stuff to help you stand out from this crowd on social media. So if you're not in our coaching community, you should be. Go to my website and work it out and get in there. You can get in there for $1. HelenMartinOnline.com. Go to my website, find the graphic that says join our coaching community and get in there, because the stuff that we do in there is just amazing. And it's just, anyway. So who's here? Who can I say hello to? So we've got Cherie, we've got Laurie, we've got Debbie, we've got Susan, we've got Faye. It was awesome. Hello, Laurie. Happy hump day. It's not hump day for me in Australia because I'm ahead of you. Do. Hello, Beth. There's our star of the show who lost her power and came back and left and came back. It was all good. Hello, Janine has her pen. Awesome. Hello, Debbie. Yes, it would be helpful. I lost power again. Hello, Sonia. Good to see you back again. We've got Yvette. We've got Katrina. Best training ever. Thank you for that. Great training in the OCC community. That's online crew coaching community. Thank you, Donna. Best training was so awesome from Kathy. Thanks. Katrina's got her templates. Well done. Oh, Missy, it's her 50th birthday. Let's all say happy to Missy. I'm almost there. You're a few weeks ahead of me, Missy. So well done. Congratulations on your 50th birthday. Let's all give her lots of birthday love. Susan's blown away from the training. We've got Dan, we've got Tonya, we've got Kathy. So coaching community members, if you were not on with us live, go and catch that replay. You'll thank us later. Okay. So happy birthday, Missy. So let me get into it. Okay. There's 3 key elements I'm going to give you. One is called branding buckets. Okay. It could also be known as sort of branding pillars. So that's topic 1 that we're going to talk about. Then number 2 is the E's. Just write down the E's. It'll make sense in a minute. And then number 3 is the type of posts. So when you come up with your different content buckets and you come up with the different styles of, how we post social media, and then the different types of posts, there is just no way that you can't come up with a week's worth of content by mixing and matching these 3 things that I'm going to tell you about. So again, I reiterate this because of so many personal profiles that I was looking at last week. And it's like so many of you are missing the point, and it's not that hard. Just follow these 3 key things that I'm going to share with you, and it'll make your profile or your content so much better. Okay. So number 1, and you may have heard me talk about this before if you've been around me for a while, but they're called our content buckets. It could be your content pillars, however you want to say it, but pick 5. Pick 5. And if you pick 5 and rotate them, oh, look, there's 5 posts out of 7. So you could post, if you've got your content buckets, there's 5 posts out of 7. If you're not posting 5 days out of 7, this number 1 that I'm going to share with you will solve that. Okay, this is how easy this is. A lot of you overthink it and you just don't do the do. You know you should put content out there, but 7 days, 14 days go by and you don't post anything on your personal profile. Bad. If you're going to build a business through social media, you have to show up more. Okay. So at least 1 post on your personal profile every day. But if you've got something that's getting some traction, like you put a post up and it goes nuts and you're getting lots of engagement and your conversation's going back and forth, leave it for a couple of days or 3 days before you post something else. So it depends on what kind of engagement you're getting. So what kind of content buckets can you come up with? Think of 5 things that represent you or that you might like to showcase that you want people to know about you. So bucket 1, I'm just going to make sure I don't stuff this up and look at my notes, okay? So number 1 is your personal bucket. Show your face. Some of you don't have anywhere near the amount of content of you. It's like shared posts or inspirational quotes, and like it's where's you? You are in a relationship business. People need to get to know you. So your personal bucket is you. It's your family, it's your kids, it's your grandkids, it's what you're up to, it's selfies, it's you. Who can admit that you need to show up more on your own page? Because you're not there. You're sharing all sorts of other content, but you're not sharing anything that you're doing or you're up to. And some of you go, oh, I don't like the look of myself. I don't like taking selfies. I don't like the way I look. I don't want to share my kids. The excuses. If you want people to buy stuff off you, You want somebody to trust you enough to buy a product off you or go into business with you? You need to show up more because it's you they're joining. It's not the thing. It's not the opportunity. It's not how wonderful your company is. It's you. If they don't like you, they're not joining you. If they don't get to know you, they're not joining you. So help them get blah blah. Help people get to know you. Okay, you with me? So number 1 is your personal bucket. Number 2 is your business bucket. If you are in a business that you are building online or a side gig or any kind of business, talk about it. Some of you, I have no idea you're in a side gig. No idea, because you never talk about it. If you scroll my personal profile, you will find posts that talk about entrepreneur, building businesses online, multiple streams of income. Like there's no secret that I'm building businesses online, that I'm an entrepreneur, that I'm teaching people how to build businesses online. You don't have to scroll that far to learn about me, about what's going on in my life. What's going on in yours? Are you even talking about it? Are you just sharing something? And it's not salesy, it's curiosity. I'm so grateful for the business that I'm building in health and wellness because it makes me connect with the most amazing people around the world. Doing it on the internet allows me the freedom to, build it whenever I want. All I need is my mobile phone. I can build my business on holidays, whatever. I'm just so grateful for having this opportunity to help people with their health and actually get paid for it and blah, blah, blah. And then you have a nice picture of yourself with it. Share a story. Let people know what you're up to as far as your business goes. Not selling, not a post that says, oh, it's end of month. I need people to buy from me to get my volume, to get paid my commission. Or I need 3 people to join my team before the end of the month. Not those type of posts. Like story-based curiosity posts about your business. That's your second bucket. Okay, once a week, you should have something written regarding your business bucket. Third bucket, your passion bucket or your product bucket. Okay, so business is different than product. Okay, so what products do you have that are behind your business? Is it health and wellness? Is it jewelry? Is it skincare? Is it crypto? Is it, what is it? So there's some kind of product or service behind that. Do people even know that you have products, that you use products, that you've maybe had a benefit from a product, or you've got customers that have had a benefit from a product? Do you ever share that? That's your third bucket, a product bucket, not a sales product bucket, a sharing product bucket. Okay, let people know what you love, what products you love. Like go and have a look at my personal profile from when was it, last week or so, when I talked about collagen. I'm getting older. I'm turning 50 in a couple of weeks, a few weeks. Like I don't want to get older. Old's just, it's a number, but go and read it if you want to learn a little bit more about me. But let people know what is important to you. But that's a good example of a story-based post, not a sales-based post. The amount of curiosity and messages I got from that was awesome because it's a story. It's my story. It's what's important to me. I don't want to grow old. I don't, and then, let's not get into that. Like it's only a number, but I don't want to visibly look older quicker than I have to. Makes sense? Okay, so that's your passion or your product bucket. Okay, the fourth bucket, inspiration, motivation, or even humor. Inspire people, uplift people. People are struggling out there in the world. They are really struggling out there in the world. Put a positive message out, put a positive quote out there. But instead of just slapping up a quote, put some wording above it with some meaning to it. Or write something positive and put a selfie with it. So you could tick 2 buckets, like a personal bucket picture of you and something inspiration. But people need to be uplifted. Be that person that scrolls their phone, that somebody else scrolls their phone, you've put a post out that's inspirational and uplifting, and somebody writes, I needed to hear that today. Be that person for other people. Motivate others. Share your story, share your struggles, get vulnerable, get authentic. Life is not perfect. Anybody that makes out on their social media that life is perfect is lying. Nobody's life is perfect. Everyone's got struggles. So, be inspiring, be motivating, be authentic, be genuine. That's your fourth bucket. Okay? So all of that in one. There is a lot. You could even spread that out you could have 10 buckets if you spread that out. Okay? But inspiration, motivation, even something funny. Put something funny, make people laugh. Go and find something funny on YouTube and just go, "Oh, this cracked me up. I just had to share." Make other people laugh for the day. It's not that hard. Don't overthink it. Okay, so that's your fourth bucket. Your fifth bucket is just a hobby bucket. What do you do that's not necessarily your business, not necessarily your products or your services, but just something that you love? My hobby bucket or something that I share is Harley. How many of you know that I've got a pug called Harley? Like Harley makes, I don't think I've shared anything lately, but a lot of you know that I have a pug called Harley. And he snores and I refer to him he's just sitting over there. And sometimes I'm on trainings and I'm like, "Can you hear Harley snoring?" Because it's out of control. It's so loud, but they can't hear it. Like some of you know that I teach at a gym on a Monday morning. I teach a pump class. I teach weights. We push weights and stuff like that. I share that. It's a hobby of mine. It's not a career. They keep asking me to do classes and I keep saying no because this is my priority. But I love it. And a lot of you know because I put it in my stories and I put it in my posts and stuff like that. And sometimes I inspire people with that. Like I don't often feel on first thing on a Monday morning getting up and teaching a class at the gym. But man, do I feel better after I've done it. Like share the things. I mean, some of you might love knitting or you might love horses or you might love cooking. Like what's your things? You've all got things. Let people get to know you. So just think of the 5 buckets alone. If you made a post out of each one of those 5 buckets, there's 5 posts out of 7 in a week. Could you do that? Quite easily. Okay, you could have more buckets than 5, you could have less buckets than 5. It's just an example. Nothing's right and wrong here. I'm just giving you ideas to help you create content. Okay, let people get to know you and who you are, because that's who they're joining and buying things from in your business. Okay, some of you are hiding behind social media and posting a lot of things and sharing a lot of posts. Facebook does not like shared content. You can share every now and again, but if every post is a shared post, you've just killed your algorithm because it's not original content. Facebook wants you to create original content and you'll be rewarded for that. Okay, so this is number 1 to think about, your content buckets. The number 2 I want you to think about is the ease. Okay, write these down. And I shared these. I'm hoping some of you will remember. Those of you that did the Lead Generation Bootcamp with me, the free boot camp last month, I went through all of these. So hopefully it's just a reminder and not new. Okay, but some of you may not have heard this before. Write these down. Education, empower, entertain, engage, and emotion. So while you're creating your content from your buckets, think of the type of style of post that you could put out there. When you lead with education, when you lead with value, when you share really helpful, cool tips, people listen. When you sell, they go running 100 miles. So educate people. Give them some tips on, if you're trying to brand yourself a certain way as a weight loss person or a health person or a finance person, give people tips and educate them on your social media. So I just learned about this. I thought I'd share it with you. It might be helpful for some of you because it was helpful for me. Tip 1, 2, and 3. Yay, you've just helped somebody with some helpful tips. Don't you look good? It's not that hard. Okay, so education is a huge one, leading with value. Empower people. So that comes down to the inspiration, the empowerment, lifting people up, putting posts out there. Like, who cares what anybody else thinks? Live your own life. Other people don't pay your bills. Take responsibility for your life. Get off your butt and make it happen because no one's making it happen for you. Empower people to step into their own 2 feet and build an amazing business or start an amazing business or inquire about your amazing business and how you're alive and you've got an amazing team and you've got money in the bank and whatever you want to say. Okay, empower people. The next one, entertain. Those of you that are doing reels, don't forget to share them on your news feed. Don't just use them in the reels feed. Like actually save it to your camera roll and share it to your news feed. Make people laugh. I've done reels with saucepans on my head. Just share it to your feed and make people laugh, and have those comments. You crack me up, Helen. Like, you're so silly type thing. Like, I have a really silly part of my personality, but it doesn't come out much. But that's what I love reels for, is it helps me bring out my silly side, which means it helps you get to know me, like the real me that has a silly side. So you want to share those kind of things. So you can use reels to do that in your newsfeed. Engagement posts. Any of you that are connected to my personal profile, if you're not, send me a friend request. Let's connect. I just put a post up yesterday that said, what are you most afraid of? Because I'm just doing so much damage to Australia. In the last week, it's gone now, but I put in my stories. Zach went downstairs to go to the gym. My 15-year-old's fully into working out at the moment. So he went down late at night to go and use the gym downstairs. And there was this big huntsman. Are any of you familiar with our Australian huntsmans? They're like big spiders, like, stretched out, probably close to, my hand. So they look really, really scary, but they're completely harmless. Like, they just look bad, but they're absolutely completely harmless. They just look scary. We have spiders here, and we have snakes, and we had a snake here last week that was causing us some grief. So it's just something that's come up a lot in the last week in conversations with people. So I just put a post up yesterday saying, what are you most scared of? Snakes or spiders or something else? And it creates engagement. So that's what I mean by engagement. It doesn't have to be business related. Think of a question or think of something that's happening in your life, and just ask an engaging question and get the algorithm working for your, personal profile. Or you can put engagement posts on a business page. You can put an engagement post, in your groups. So just think engagement. How can I put a post out that's going to attract more engagement? Put something like that out. It's simple. Just ask a question. Not that hard. And emotion. So you want to create content, and you can create this with any one of your buckets. Try to think of something you can put on social media that captures people's emotions, because that's what people get drawn into. You read books and you get captivated with a book because it takes you on a journey. You watch movies and get in and go to the movies because it shares a story, and it takes people on an emotion of a story. Write things and put things on your social media that can draw out emotion in people. Share something meaningful, genuine, authentic from yourself that draws out emotion in other people because they can relate to you. Have you ever spoken about a pain on social media and people then comment in and say, oh, I can so relate to you, whatever, or something's going on in your world and you don't want a pity party. You don't want to share all your problems on social media, but you might share something that triggers emotion. People get connected with emotions because we are emotional human beings. So emotion really connects with your content. So try to put out content that draws out emotion. So you got them? Did you write them all down? Education, empower, entertain, engage, emotion. So think of those types of posts and use your content buckets to create those types of posts as well. Okay, and here's the last piece to it, the number 3. The last piece to it is mixing up the types of content that you do. So it could be a post, it could be a story, it could be a reel, it could be a live video, it could be a pre-recorded video. Like, think of the different types of content that you can put out there because you want to mix it up. If you're doing all live video, there are some people that won't watch live videos because they don't have time for it, not interested in it. They'll just read. And there are people that won't read, but they'll listen to live videos when they're driving their car and whatever. You need to put different types of content out to cater for different people's learning modalities. Some people love to scroll and read. Some people love video. Some people love reels. Some people love stories. Do it all. Mix up your content within a week. And yes, do live video. And yes, learn how to do reels. And squirrel moment. I put a question out in my communities. What do you want me to do next in April? Like reels or live video? Because I haven't done live video since January, I don't think. And normally I do them all the time. But standout is that you want to learn Reels. But what I want to know next is it Instagram Reels or is it Facebook Reels? Or it doesn't matter to you? My preference is to create Instagram Reels and repurpose to Facebook and TikTok. But how many of you are just not on Instagram? Because I'm thinking, okay, if I do something, do I have to do Facebook Reels? Because there's so many of you that are not on Instagram and you don't want to go on Instagram. So just a question for you, if you can answer that for me in the comments. Does it matter whether it's Instagram or Facebook Reels, or is your preference Facebook Reels because you don't use Instagram? Like, I'd just love to know your feedback on that as to which way I go with that. So the third thing is the types of content. Mix it up. And if you do Reels, pop them in your news feed and do stories and do posts and do selfies and do live video and maybe even upload a pre-recorded video, but you won't get anywhere near the organic reach that you'll get from a live video. But while you're creating your content for a week, you want to mix up the different types of content that you're doing as well and make sure you've got a few things everywhere. Okay, so just to wrap this up so I don't talk too long and I don't keep you here too long, the number one thing was the content buckets. The number two thing, highly elaborate here, things. The number one thing is your content bucket. The number two thing is the ease, the different types of, like the emotion and the entertainment and the educating people. Like, you want to come from those different places in your content, and then the different styles of content. So if you mix and match those three things, I really need to come up with a better word than things, but if you mix them up, do you not think that you can come up with, if you just sat down for half an hour and thought about, okay, what kind of content do I want to put on my personal profile? And remember, if you've got a group or a business page, it's going to be more branded to how you said you brand yourself. So this is still relevant, that you might not have the mix of personal buckets on a business page because you're there for a reason. Okay, you're trying to uplift the level of professionalism in a particular niche area, different conversation. Okay, but do you think you could sit down for 20 minutes or half an hour and think, what am I going to post next week? And look at those three things that I've given you and go, okay, I could do a post about this. I could do a post about Harley. I could do a post about going to the gym. I could do a post about, I really want to write about, a struggle I had last week, just brainstorm. And then like, I really should throw in an engagement post, like something funny. And I'm going to go to YouTube and find a funny video clip and share that. And value. What could I give value? How could I educate something? I might put 3 tips. No, I'm going to share a recipe. I'm going to share a recipe that's under 100 calories. That's really, so that's teaching people something, so that ticks that box. And I'm going to do a live video, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to share a reel and whatever. And like, I've got a month's worth of content, not a week, a month. If you really take those 3 things that I've given you and you sit down for 30 minutes or an hour and actually give some time and attention to your content creation, could you not come up with a lot of content from what I've just shared with you in this video? Does that excite any one of you to go, I'd never really thought about that, or those ease, or those content buckets, even though coaching community members, all that training is in there. You should have gone through that. But aside from that, does that make it a little bit easier for you? Because that's my goal. Is try to give you ideas and thoughts and creativity to just go and create cool, interesting, regular, consistent, authentic content on social media, because you need to be a human before you're a marketer, correct? Who's with me on that one? And to be a human before you're a marketer, you need to show up more. You need to share more of you and what you do in your life, what your passions are, what your interests are, and all those kind of things. Okay? Just check in with some comments and then we'll jump off. Okay, so I'll catch up with your Reels comments after. Thank you for your feedback then. My preference would be to do Instagram Reels and teach people how to repurpose them on Facebook, but I need you guys to be open enough that are not using Instagram to learn how to do Instagram Reels, so then you can repurpose. So that'll only work if you guys are open to that. Just put the word open if you're open to that, because there's more features on Instagram Reels than there are Facebook Reels. That's the reason behind it. Okay. Laurie, Absolutely. I'm scheduled 6 weeks out. Makes my life so much easier. Love the structure. Awesome sharing. Awesome content. Thank you, Helen. Yes, and now I have some awesome templates to make it super easy. Good point, Katrina. So go to coaching community members. Make sure you go and catch that training that we just did earlier before this live for the templates that Katrina's talking about. So now you can incorporate all of them into what I'm talking about. Debbie, for sure. Sonia, yes. There has been so much to absorb in a short time. I will do more. I will plan this out. And that's, two things with that, Joanne. At least you're learning the right way. You're here. You're learning the right way. Maybe it is a lot to take in, but you're learning what works. You're learning what helps you stand out from the crowd, Joanne. You're learning how to be a human before a marketer. And this is what sets you guys up for success, to sell more of your products, your services, and your opportunity. Okay, this is what it's all about. So it's better to be here and learn and be overwhelmed than not learn at all or be taught the wrong things. So there's that. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, now I've lost your comment. It doesn't matter. I really hope this video is helpful. For those of you that have teams that struggle with content, please tag them in this video or share it out to your networks. It's not as difficult as it needs to be. This video needs to get out to more people regarding how to create content in less time, but covering all those boxes that I mentioned. So I really do hope that's helpful. And again, coaching community members, go and catch that replay because it was awesome that we did before. And I will see the rest of you same time, same place tomorrow. I'm going to talk about tomorrow, and this has come up from last week's discussion as well, where you should be and the advantages and disadvantages of only personal profile, business page, or a group. Which one should I be in? What's my preference? What's the advantages and disadvantages and whatever? So you might want to catch that conversation and show up with me live tomorrow as well. Okay, so I will see you guys then. Bye. Thanks for joining me.